truth or fake. Truth is she's here. The fake, well, she'll expose that for us right now. I understand, Emerald, you were looking at some videos viral on social media, as always with these things, purportedly showing tanks amassing on the border between the US and Mexico in the state of Texas. Tell us more.
Yes, Mark. So these videos have been widely shared on X and also on TikTok over the last few days. Let me show you just one of them. So in it, we see some tanks crossing a highway along with the claim that the Texas National Guard is sending 10 tanks to combat the invasion at the southern border. And as I said, it's been shared widely. Here it is on TikTok and here it is on X. As we can see, it's been racking up hundreds of thousands of views. This isn't the only video. There have been other similar videos showing tanks supposedly at the Texas border. Here's another one. It's a desert scene. Again, we see tanks and soldiers. And the claim is that this is the Texan Defense Forces being observed in combat readiness. Mark.
So we know that Texas Governor Greg Abbott has invoked what he refers to as an invasion clause to take control of the border, something that's normally a US federal government's responsibility. But has he really sent tanks?
Well, let's take a second look at the first video I showed you. And as fact-checking website Logically Facts did earlier this week, they fact-checked it earlier this week. Well, some details from the video strike as odd, especially the landscape. For a start, we can see a lot of pine trees. It's not what we expect from South Texas. We can also spot on the blue car in front a license plate here in the corner, and it is in fact a Georgia state license plate. Also, another little clue in the video, here we have on the right here a tanks crossing sign. And I did a little Google for tank crossing signs in the US and happened upon this one, which is actually a stock photo, according to Google, from Fort Stewart Army Post in Georgia. And it does look rather a lot like the scene in the video. Logically Facts also contacted the Texan military department, and they stated that the Texas National Guard is not sending tanks to the border. They also pointed out that the vehicles in the video aren't tanks as claimed, but Bradley M2 or M3 fighting vehicles. And they said the terrain does not look like Texas at all. It looks like Fort Moore or Fort Stewart, Georgia training areas, thus confirming our suspicions raised by the visual clues. As for the other video, the desert scene we saw, well, we did a reverse image search and came across an earlier publication of it on YouTube, dated the 8th of November 2023. And according to this publication, it shows a military exercise in Chile. And certain clues confirm this, including the tanks, which are in fact German-manufactured Leopard 2 tanks, which are used by the Chilean army, which a quick Google showed us. Here's an article with some pictures of the Chilean Leopard 2s in action, but they're not used by the American Army, which has the American-manufactured M1 Abrams. So also another little number plate clue we can see on the red car in front, this number plate here. We make that bigger. And I also looked up a stock photo of the Chilean number plate, and as we can see, they look very similar. It doesn't look at all like an American number plate. So we can conclude that this video doesn't show Texas either. What we can say, though, is that tensions are definitely rising at the border, whether with or without fake videos like these exacerbating them. And Greg Abbott is defying the Supreme Court and the US government by ordering more fencing to be put up along the border. And over the weekend, a convoy of activists calling themselves God's Army turned up to protest what they call a migrant invasion. But so far, at least, no tanks are involved, Mark.
And they called themselves God's Army. I wonder what God would say about that. Thank you very much indeed for explaining the fake from the truth, and clearly all that was bogus, all those videos. It's absolutely... I'd like to get to know the people who put these things up, wouldn't you? And find out what motivates them to do that, but that's another story. Emerald Maxwell, the truth or fake, thank you very much indeed. Thanks to Yuka for the business, as always, and thanks to you for watching wherever you are across the world. Do stay with us, more to come live from Paris.